Hello, welcome to Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I'm James Pendleton and I'm here to talk about what's happened with Everton over the last 24 hours. I was looking forward to the international break. I didn't think I was going to have to kind of worry about Everton and talk about them too much, but even though we had a good couple of weeks, we drew with Chelsea, Forest, we beat Brentford, we're going into the international break with our head above board. It's, I'm starting to think, well, maybe I don't have to stress too much as I did this time last year where I was really kind of down in the dumps about everything, but this has just come out of nowhere in terms of when it actually happened. We've worried about this for a long time and now something's happened, and I think everyone's kind of lost their heads a little bit. I think we're kind of looking at doing this video to kind of try and bring as many facts, as many possibilities into one sort of channel and see what can, can't, won't, will, may not happen to Everton basically, and hopefully try and put some people's minds at ease. I'm not quite sure, but basically I've read through the Athletics piece in here, which is I think is the best thing I've read. I've read a couple of things on this. If the Athletic one isn't behind a paywall, or if you're subscribed to them like I am, give it a read. Basically, it's very good. It's Greg O'Keefe, as always, is very good, excellent journalist. A lot of good work on there from him, and obviously Paddy Boyland as well. But in terms of what I've read from here, it appears that Everton have breached over a period of a couple of years between, I think it's 2018 and 2021. You can make 107 or 108 million pounds worth of losses. Everton made well over 300 million, which obviously isn't good. This is what Burnley and Leeds complained about last season, that joint sort of request. I find that funny because obviously Watford and Norwich had no interest, it would seem. They were already down. Then Leeds dropped their case when they stayed up, which, I mean, if that doesn't tell you that this could well be based and built on sand, I don't know what does. Burnley have also fallen foul of some sort of payment issues in the last few weeks. They're winning the league at a canter. They'll be back in the Premier League next season. The Athletic believe they will be keeping an eye on the situation even when they do come back up, which, whatever. At least they've stuck it out where Leeds, as soon as, they were in the water, and then when they got a life raft and they swum out to shore with us, they were absolutely fine, and we were all friends again, which is, that's another issue I've kind of got with all this. But basically, I think with the financial fair play saga that you've got going on with City and with us, it is just total nonsense. It really is. Financial fair play is not fit for purpose. I can understand why it was implemented, but all it was doing was just pulling a ladder away from the teams who weren't at the top at the time. It's based on pure luck, essentially. Man City and Chelsea brought in, also rich owners came into Man City and Chelsea, spent a hell of a lot of money, took them from, in City's case, a team who played League One, Championship, Premier League football, had treaded water in the Premier League horribly before they were invested in. Chelsea were obviously at a better point before they got taken over, and since then they've gone from being a team who were just about getting into the Champions League and were doing right at the sort of early noughties to now being a two-time Champions League winner, been in another final, Europa League. They've won every single trophy imaginable, some multiple times. They've evolved massively, and it's all because they were lucky enough to get the investment when these sorts of things weren't in place. Everton got invested in. It was not that sort of level playing field anymore. Everton couldn't go and get Robinho, Emmanuel Adebayor, go buy a bunch of players that they used for a couple of years and then got rid of for nothing, or for far less than what they signed them for, and then progress from there. That just couldn't happen. Everton tried. They signed players who were good at the time or were there for the here and now. They didn't work out. They then left for nothing. Everton weren't making profit on players. They were signing too many players over the age of 30 or getting to there. They signed too many players who, when they weren't good enough for us, nobody wanted. You look at someone like Davy Clarkson, we sold him for half what we got him for. Ashley Williams, I think it was 12 million. He went for nothing by the end of his deal. Gylfi Sigurdsson came in for £45 million, and regardless of what's gone on in the meantime, Everton were never going to make anywhere near that money back for him. So I say what happened, but irrelevant to that, Everton were never going to make money back on him. Players like Sandro Ramirez didn't cost a lot but still went for nothing. Oumar Niasse went for nothing. There's so many players, obviously I know a couple of their, or certainly Niasse anyway, I think he might have been the only one who wasn't in that period, but you kind of get what I mean in terms of Everton were signing players for a lot of money and they weren't getting any money back for them, and that's why when like Lookman left, when Richarlison left, when we were being linked to players like Holgate going, when John Stones left again, going slightly further back, that was all great because it meant that Everton were making money on players and we're seeing profits go up in terms of player sales. But now the big worry in the Everton squad at the minute is that there aren't many sellable assets, and that's why Everton ended up where they are, because so many players, again, from the last 2 years, Alan, for example, went for nothing when he departed the club. Players like Luca Dean broke even, Moise Keane broke even, Theo Walcott went for nothing, Cenk Tosun went for nothing. It's all these kind of issues where Everton aren't making enough money, and because of where the squad is right now, that's why I've been kind of worried, thinking that the only sellable assets now are kind of Branthwaite. Gordon was one, obviously, which is good, but it's not in sort of that period. But say Branthwaite's one, Calvert-Lewin was one, probably not anymore. Players like Damari Gray can make small profits on stuff like that, but all told, Everton are not in a good position in terms of the current squad, and that's just been fed down through years of being in a bad position like this. And this is why when Ancelotti came in and he signed James and he signed Decore and he signed Alan, it was kind of like, cool, but these players are too old, we're not going to get any money back for them. Decore is still at Everton, he'll probably be here for another year, we'll go for nothing. Alan has already done that. James spent a lot of money in terms of wages and stuff, and he also went for nothing. So it's just been a kind of tumbling process where Everton have fallen down the mountain and now they're trying to pick themselves back up. And just as you're kind of feeling like they're making the right steps, they're bringing through players from the academy. You're starting to feel like they're getting good loan moves of players, getting them out in the shop window. Players like Andre Gomez, other end of the spectrum, Tom Cannon, Lewis Dobbin, Ellis Sims before he came back. Everton was starting to make the right steps, and then this has happened where the Premier League have agreed with Everton that they appear not to have broken any rules, and they've now said, can this independent panel check it? So that's kind of where we're at now and how we got to there. What's going to happen next? Nobody knows, because something like this hasn't happened before. City are in big trouble at the minute, but that's going to take, you think, a couple of years for that to get sorted out. And that is where there is sort of some hope to be had, basically, is that this should take us beyond this season, which is obviously very good. Everton can't afford to lose points this season, I don't think. I'd be very surprised if they stay more than sort of 3 points above the relegation zone by the end of the season. And who knows how many points this could be. This could be 3, 6, 12, 9, 15, whatever it might be, I don't know. But I think whatever it would be, it would probably be too much this season. So what could happen? Point deduction, as I mentioned. A big fine. I don't quite know how that works, that you can fine a club for losing more money than they should be able to, so I'm not sure that will happen. Transfer spending cap is one that's been mooted. Everton have basically been doing that anyway, really, last couple of seasons, so I'm not sure that's, again, going to be something that happens, or a full-on transfer ban where Everton can't sign a player for a window, 2, 3, 4, whatever it might be. Again, can Everton go and spend £40 million on Christian Pulisic and then sell Eden Hazard in that summer anyway? Probably they couldn't do that, no, I don't think so, but they're the 4 options. That's most likely what's going to happen to Everton, be one of those things. Obviously a fine, I think, will probably be the best thing to happen. Spending cap for a period of time, that I would probably say, after the transfer ban or the point deduction left, it's tricky. I think if Everton start a season on negative points, and that would be really hard to catch up, depending on how many points it is. If Everton are like 10th and they stay in the Premier League this season, and it happens next season, comes towards the end of the campaign and we get hit with a 9-point deduction, but we're 15 points below the relegation zone or something, then obviously that would be fine, you'd think. So it really does depend on when that point deduction could or would hit and how big it would be. It's just impossible to tell. So I think for now I'd probably say I don't know, it's really hard. I think from what I have read, it looks like it could be a point deduction before the season starts, which would be really tricky to sign players if they know that they're coming into a team with 9 points adrift at the bottom of the league. That'll be really hard to get out of. So I probably would say the transfer ban, but neither of them are good. But what I would say is that there is a fifth option. There's a fifth option where Everton haven't actually breached anything. This panel are happy enough with what's happened. I think what we've put forward suffices, and Everton can also appeal anything that happens too. So that would obviously make the process go on a bit longer as well. So I think my main kind of things would be that Everton are in this position because of people like Steve Walsh, Farhad Moshiri, Ronald Koeman, Sam Allardyce, people who came in, spunked money up the wall and have left an almighty mess for people who've come beyond them. It's happened because the owner's got no idea what he's doing. It's happened because Everton haven't cared about the youth for long enough to say we're going to churn our players for 5-10 million every single year from the academy or near enough. Thierry Small's gone for free. Anthony Gordon's been a big success. Isaac Price looks like he could go for free. They're just starting to turn it around now. Cannon, Dobbin, Sims, as I've mentioned, Lewis Warrington, players like that. But they're the three main reasons why Everton have got in this position. How can Everton get out of this now? Is just stay up this season, get that Premier League money, be smart in the summer, try and make a sale, whether it be Branthwaite, whether we can shift Calvert-Lewin and get a few million for him, make profit on players who come through the door, and try and promote youth. I'm not sure Sean Dyche is massively keen on that, but if you can get the likes of Price, Dobbin, Warrington, Cannon, Sims, you can get them in the squad, make them Premier League footballers, and then someone comes in and say we can be taken for 10 million. You can then say yeah, absolutely, and Everton can start getting money back into the club that way. So that's what could happen. That's how Everton got here. That's what could happen, and that's what's going to happen going forward to make sure this doesn't happen again. But one of those 5 options is what's going to be kind of straddling Everton from now until, I would probably estimate, for the next 18 months or so, you'd think. But luckily it doesn't look like anything's going to happen this season, which is obviously good. But yeah, whatever the medicine is, we're going to have to take it, no matter how crap we think financial fair play is, and no matter how nonsensical it is that 2 teams, Burnley and Leeds, can appeal this and then Leeds can drop theirs as soon as they stay up in the Premier League. It's just absolutely bizarre, but we'll have to see what happens. So I hope I've explained that as well as possible. As I say, I would recommend reading what the Athletic have written on this, because it is very concise, very succinct, makes sense, a bit long, but they get all the information in there as well. So I hope you all enjoyed. If you can, let me know your thoughts down below, and make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you all very much for watching the Toffee Blues.